Welcome to 100 Yards of Football, and this is our Legends segment, and I'm your man, Bobby Butler, and tonight, we got the legends of all legends from Delray Beach. We got Mr. Bill Smith, who started and founded the Delray Rocks football program in 1966, and we're going to talk with him, and along with me, I got my ride and dies. I got my best friend in the world, Larry Coffey, on tonight. We got Johnny Haynes, a.k.a. Ketchup, and we got Blue, Prince Arafat, Mr. Charles Ferguson on, greatest linebacker ever put on a uniform in Palm Beach County. So we got a show for you tonight. If you like the video, like it, comment, share it with your friends. Tell them about this. 100 Yards of Football. Hey, guys, good to see you. Coach Smith, it's an honor to have you on tonight to celebrate your accomplishment and what you've done, not only for all of us, but for the community of Delray. And we're just going to chop it up tonight, have some fun with you, and let's just go at it, right? Let's just go at it. So you started the Delray Rocks in 1966.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Those were good times too.
Absolutely.
It was a different world back then. Everybody did something because they liked to do it.
That's right.
Yeah. But, you can't forget somebody in this bunch. Eddie Odom.
That's right.
Eddie came on board, and we spent a lot of years coaching together.
Yes,
but I'll tell you, it wasn't coaching. That was just fun. That's all we did was have fun.
Well, it was a lot of fun. But I tell you, one of the things that we can say, when we grew up in that time, in 66, it was really during segregation. And the Delray Rocks was formed. But, as kids, Larry was up close and personal, but we had a chance to see Carver High play football. And they won those back-to-back state titles in 68 and 69. And we had a lot of heroes out there. And there's a lot of great football in Delray. Myself, I didn't get a chance to go to all the high school games at Carver. But what I would do, I would listen to Seacrest High play on the radio. So I listened, and I knew about everybody in Delray who played football. And then all of a sudden, you started this program that gave us an outlet to emulate and all our heroes that played in high school football in Delray. So I want to ask you a quick question about that. When you started the program, I heard Coach Boughton say something years ago. Anytime you ask him about his success, the first thing he say is, it had everything to do with my assistant coaches. So you hired a lot of great guys to coach in the Delray Rocks program. Talk about some of those guys, because I know you had Red Odom, Bump Mitchell, Benny Leonard, and you had Walt Stevens. You had some great coaches, man.
Walt Stevens.
Yeah, Walt Stevens. So talk about those guys a little bit.
Well, you just don't get better people than that.
Mm-hmm.
You take Bump. Bump came into our program, and the program just thrived. The kids loved him. He was an honest, straight shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You take Eddie. Eddie and I got along. Charlie, you remember that?
Yeah.
You were around when Eddie was there, and we just got along great. That's why we only had 2 coaches. Now, we did have Chris Sermoseca some, but Chris taught me how to use stats, But we had great people, and that's the reason the program flourished.
Absolutely.
When you got good people and good players, you can't help but win. And you remember it. That's what the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of kids call me not too long ago and ask me why we ran so many times, only 2 or 3 plays, because nobody could stop them.
Yeah,
but it was the kids. They didn't think they could be stopped. Right, Charlie?
Yeah,
you were one of the best. You and Johnny. Johnny, I'll never forget you. I don't think you ever missed a game because you didn't make weight.
You're right about that.
Had to work at it. But,
you're right about that.
Yeah.
All the food more Western need up.
The kids and the parents, it was everything.
Yeah.
And you talk about segregation, there wasn't. segregation on that team one way or the other.
That's right.
They were kids and they were football players, and we loved each other.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I don't see that today.
Mm-hmm.
But I sure remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 85 now, and I can still tell you a lot of plays that happened and a lot of really good times.
Wow.
Hey, Bobby, I remember Coach Smith.
Mm-hmm.
See, I came in '69 with Bump on the 75 team. And then you had Coach Boone. Coach Boone was the head coach.
Yeah.
Coach Smith had the bigger boys with David Field and Doug Park and all them.
Right,
Snake and all them. But Coach Boone, and then Bump came on. That's when Troop was our quarterback. You had Albert Price, you had Mo Wesley. I'm sorry, we had a team, and I think we had the first championship team. Now David Peel, he refuted that, but I think in '69 the 75 pound
was the first championship team.
They beat Plantation 28-0. I remember that. That, you know, what would have been fun is take every one of these teams and play each other.
Right.
You'd have had some football, wouldn't you?
Oh man,
and we can still do it.
Man, I'm telling you.
Well,
So
they dispute which team was the best.
Which team was the best? I don't know.
Hey, can
I'll tell you what.
Can I comment on that?
I think the 150 pound was the best.
I'm gonna tell you the best team. I think, right? This is my opinion, right? It wasn't a team that I was on, but as an 80-pounder, looking up to see Snake Robinson, to see
Rudy,
William Penn, to see David Peel,
Rudy,
Willis Flowers, that group. Hey, listen, man. I'm just saying.
It was tough. It was tough.
Anything better than that, right?
Curtis Williams and all them boys.
Curtis Williams, that's right. They had Tony Scott, all those guys, man.
Hey, Johnny, your brother Lorenzo play?
He played along with me, Larry Gillers, Mo Wesley, Bobby, Larry. He played along with us.
Hey, when Lorenzo came out there, he was special.
Yeah, we had all those guys.
Number legs, high knees, man. He going 80 yards, just like that. So, Coach Smith, let me ask you a question because, you know, we know about the Delray Rocks, all of us right here. That's what we know. We grew up in the program. We know about you, but we don't know about you playing the game. Tell us about you. I want to know that you play the game, how young you were when you started playing football, and what position did you play?
Well, if I can remember that far back, I played center. Played center at Seacrest.
Okay.
And we used to go down on Saturday mornings and play Carver down at the old ball field. Remember that?
Wow, the old ball field, by the Civic Center?
By the Civic Center, yeah.
Civic Center wasn't there, just the ball field.
But it's the ball field, right?
And we'd play Carver, but that was back before they had all this junk going on. It was just fun playing football.
Right.
But I played. I was the last player to play 4 years at a high school.
Oh, wow.
Down there.
Wow.
I played my freshman year, sophomore, junior, and senior.
Wow.
But I played 2 years in the service, and that was pretty good football too.
Okay.
But you know, there's nothing like the Rocks. I don't care. You mentioned Rocks and my spine tingles.
It was not like that. I'm gonna ask you one last question, then I'm let these guys come in. All right. So you played center. So when you started the program with the Rocks, tell me how you came up with the name the Rocks.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, it's a long story made short. When I went into service, went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, got back there on my birthday, January 11th, and there was a group right across from us in Reppel Company going over to Germany. That's where I ended up.
Okay.
Well, they were a bunch called the Rocks. They were the Rocks of Corregidor. They jumped on a rock island, and about half of them didn't make it.
Oh, wow.
And they were really good guys. They were tough as nails.
Mm.
And we had a little riot of our own there.
Mm-hmm.
And we fought all night. General came down and broke everybody out. We were running in our shorts in the snow. And it just kind of stuck with me because I followed their history a little bit.
Wow.
And I figured, you know, I don't want tigers and any of the other things. I appreciate all of them.
Right.
But I wanted something different. And back then I could get away with it. Today I probably couldn't. But I named them the Rocks because of the 503rd Airborne Infantry.
Wow.
And it was just.
I never knew that.
That's big, Blue. That's big.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things that just seemed to fit. And it fit all right. And they got better and better and better and better.
And that's why we were so successful.
No, we were successful because of the people, Bobby.
Absolutely.
The people were first class. I mean, all of them. There wasn't. I don't think there was ever a kid that quit our program. I don't know of any. Put it that way.
Right.
And when we went up to the high school with the JVs, they started off with 17 guys every year, and they didn't have much of a program. And Eddie and I went up there. We had 45 at the beginning, 45 at the end, and we worked like hell.
Wow.
But, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like Eddie. Eddie's a jock. I'm a jock. Y'all are jocks.
Right.
You know, no matter what you say, you're jocks. But that's what it's all about. It's about people.
It's about people. And you know what I remember, man, how we came together so well, you know, because the two smaller teams, when we played, when I played 85 and 105, you know, we drove in the cars to games away with our parents. And we had parents carpooling, and we got a chance to know some of the other parents in the cars, and they were rooting us on. But I tell you, one thing I'll never forget, and I know these two guys can attest to it. When you play for the smaller team, and when the big team is near that doggone stadium, they get ready to come. They beating that bus down. They song, and we get cranked up, man. We used to get cranked up, get excited. The big boys coming, right? And when they came, man, it just made us feel like, man, we finna tear something up today up on this field wherever we playing at. So it was nothing like that. It was nothing like that at all.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the thrills I got out of all that, I hope I didn't interrupt you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
When we got up to Gatlinburg in 74, and we started back home, and Benny's bus made it over the mountain. And a Volkswagen stopped right after he got there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we had to walk back down the mountain.
All
the way back to Gatlinburg.
And
I remember that.
Team
in the snow,
picking up the players on the little team and carrying them.
Wow.
You know, that's class. That's class.
I like that.
And I can tell you some other stories that bring tears to your eyes.
I know.
And that's what we had. That's exactly what we had, good people.
Right.
And I hope they never forget each other, because seeing you guys is just something out of this world.
Well, I tell you what, the love in this room, the love that we share one another with these guys here. Hey, listen, man, we got a brotherhood that's going to last until we leave here.
Absolutely.
And because, you know, when I think of any one of these guys, and I know when they think of me, I just smile and I laugh. I think about these days. We were talking about the Derry Rocks days. And I remember a crazy moment. Now, I don't know if this was 1:30 or we was on the 105, Johnny. We were doing Bull in the Ring. And Larry, tell me if you remember this. We were doing a Bull in the Ring.
105.
105. They put Johnny in the middle. And so, you know, catch up, you know, he's knocking everybody out. You go in there, he's knocking you out. So the coach he said, I'm going to call everybody's number to go in and get Johnny, right? Johnny in the middle ring.
Yeah.
And we called everybody. Didn't nobody go but Van Williams.
I'm John Davis.
And Johnny Hogan.
Yeah.
Nobody but Van. went in to go after Johnny. Nobody was gonna mess with Johnny. I know I wasn't going in there, right?
I always thought that was Smitty Boo in the middle.
No, that was ketchup.
I don't know what happened at that. Something happened. I did something, whatever. He told me to get in the ring.
Right. I remember that.
And he called all the numbers.
Johnny, how many positions did you play there?
I only played two. Well, I played two, but I only played one because you only threw me the ball. That was a tight end. I was blocking. That was it.
So you the extra
tackle. That's it. Center field, we put Johnny back at center field because we know nobody's going to get by him.
That's it.
And you know, there's just so many things that are so great. And you guys, I'm proud of all of you.
Well,
you know, and you asked for the best team.
Thank you.
I'd like to see everybody play each other one time. That would have been one hell of a game.
Yeah, that would have. We wanted that, but they never let it happen.
Something to brag about too.
Everybody knew everybody. Everybody played against each other.
Everybody
played against each other.
Well, I tell you what I want to do. I know I'm gonna miss somebody, but I just got to do this, man. I'm big on the guys who I played with, the guys who that played ahead of me, the guys who played behind us in the Rocks.
Yeah.
I just want to mention some of these guys' names, right? Most of these guys, a lot of these guys went on and played in college football, Coach Smith. And a lot of these guys, some of these guys played in the NFL, right? And so I did an interview not long ago with Lee Wilder in the 1974 Atlantic High football team. And he mentioned, we was talking about the Delray Rocks. He said, you know, I was on the first group of the Delray Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee Wilder said he was on the front. I said, what? I said, I never knew you played for the Rocks. He said, yes, the very first year I went out. And of course, he went on to play at Davidson University. We had guys like Theodore Snake Robinson.
Yeah.
William Penn, David Peel, Willie C. Flowers, Vincent Coop Mitchell, Arthur Smitty Boo Smith.
Yeah.
Parker, Bernard Parker, Thad Parker, Vince Strong, Bubba Brown, Van Williams, Mark Williams, your boy Blue.
Yeah.
Keith Washington, Nelson McMurrian, Kevin Norland, Scott Guys, Lorenzo Haynes, Johnny Haynes, Greg Fashaw, Mo Wesley, Spencer Jackson, Lawrence Strange, Curtis White, Tony Scott, Carl Wesley. Carl West was a heck of a defensive end, by the way.
Yeah.
Tim Butt, Harvey Quince, Winston Davis, Joe Chaney, Anthony Clay Butterbean, John Chocho Davis, Eric Davis, Derek Bossman Crudup, Tom Boot Smith, Alvin Price, and the younger guys I got to mention, Preston Parker, Brandon Flowers, Michael Rump, Al Wallace, Lance Frazier, Corey Banks, David Clowney, Jason Getters.
That's a list there.
Listen, I don't even know.
That's a lot of people.
But that's a lot of people. You must have been taking Prevagen because nobody can remember all that. And I remember most of them.
But all these guys played either in front of me or behind me at the Delray Rocks. And all those guys were great. I'm talking about great ball players. Every one of them, man.
Every great kids, though, you know.
Were great ball players. And we attribute that to you, Coach Smith, because, you know, you put it all together. You know, you the one made it happen. You know, you brought in the coaches that, and you had to trust the coaches. You brought them in. You know, they went to work, and you gave us an outlet to emulate those guys who were ahead of us in high school at Seacrest and at Carver High School. And we were. I know I was trying my best to be Anthony Penn. Every time I put on a uniform, I did my best imitation. I didn't do good, but I did my best.
Hey, so, you did as good as anybody. You were one of the best.
Well, thank you.
You know, you're not alone.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not alone. You were part of a group that, you know, from 66 right on up to when I retired. Now, I haven't kept up with it because I just didn't want to stick my nose in it.
Right.
But I knew it was in good hands.
Yeah.
And I got to reiterate again on Eddie. Eddie was, we never missed a practice the whole time.
Wow.
We never had an argument.
Wow.
We never did anything but want the kids to win. and we worked at it hard.
Mhm.
We drank a few beers too, but that's that one more time. But you do that with friends. You don't do it with just people.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'd drink beer with you anytime, anywhere. But you are the best. I keep repeating that because I don't know if anybody's ever going to do any better.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
Well,
And they certainly aren't going to do any better when they get out of football.
that's true. Well, we had a good group. These guys right here, I remember you used to do something, Coach Smith, the last year I played. And, Charles was a cornerback in those days instead of a middle linebacker and a fullback. So he ran the ball and did that really well, but he was the real deal on the outside playing corner. And every night in practice, somewhere in the evening, you were going to call a bootleg to his side. And, it's almost like, all right, we're going to see who's going to get who tonight, right? And, boy, we used to battle, man, the whole season, man. He'll get me a couple nights and I get him one night, right? And so, but I knew if I can get around the corner around him, nobody can stop me from getting around the corner when we bootleg. And then Johnny was the absolute best defensive end.
Oh, man.
Is that where Johnny played?
Played,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Johnny, you were not going to get around Johnny Haynes.
No.
Oh, no.
It wasn't possible. And the other thing, we were all afraid of Johnny. Johnny used to intimidate all of us, Coach Smith. I'm going to tell on him right now.
But I had guys behind me, though. Like, I think Larry played. Did he play on my side, Larry, at corner?
No, that was me.
Okay.
No, Blue. Larry didn't play no defense back then. No. We didn't play defense.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was me.
I was trying to remember the names of a lot of the other players, too.
Al Flint.
Graham and Heaven and
Mike Heaven, yep.
Johnny Roll. Remember
Johnny Roll? Yeah, Johnny Roll. Yeah.
What was the other guard's name on that team?
We had Jake Gathers.
Jake Gathers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember one of the Gathers lost his mouthpiece one game. And I said, go get your brothers. I ain't going to put that thing in my mouth.
That must be Jake.
I remember Shruti was calling play. I was calling plays one night and said Shruti in with a play. And I get a little excited every now and then, kick a little dirt.
Right.
And Shruti comes in and he says, Coach, you can't run that. The guy's going the wrong way. And I called the opposite. And it took me out. Pretty good when your players start calling you down on mistakes. But golly, that was just something else.
I tell you the jersey.
Catch on, what you got there?
It's the old 82.
Oh, man. What?
That's the old one, John.
That's the old 82.
Was that 145 jerseys right there?
That's a 150-pound jersey.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Well, you got a collective item.
Man,
that's one. That's it. That's it. That's one. That's mine. That's it.
I got to tell you about one guy though that I'm sure.
Looking at that jersey. Look.
There's one guy that never played for us.
Okay.
And I'm sure y'all know.
Go ahead, Coach.
And he ended up getting in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But he was one of the most loyal to the Rocks.
Looking at that jersey causes me to want to ask Coach a question.
The guy's name was Sam Potts.
Oh, yeah, Sam Potts.
Sam. Yeah.
Sam would come to our practices. He'd work in our concession stands. He'd help out with the basketball. And, when I'd come down there, he'd ask Bill Condrick, and he'd come down and had coffee with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one mistake I made. I should have got him a job.
Mm.
If I had, maybe he wouldn't have done that.
Right.
And I've always regretted that. Mm-hmm. But nobody knows that but you guys.
Mm.
Yeah.
He would come down. You're going to have problems this week. You better take care of it.
Right.
And we'd get the parents, no cops, just parents down there. And we never had a problem.
That's awesome, man.
I let him drive the city car down to the Civic Center one day. And you'd have thought he died and gone to heaven. Why'd you do that? And I said, "You get in trouble for that," he said. And I said, no. You know, he was just one of those guys that I wish he'd have played. I wish he could have. But he was a rock. And the day he died, we were talking.
Yeah.
That was Coach Coffey, man, too. We ride around and tell on you at night when you be out of There you go, point out.
Coach
was
Coach Coffey gonna have some people on his side.
Man, hey, Stan Paul was the man too.
Hey, he used to shoot by the house. Yeah, he used to shoot by the house to let Daddy know what this was about to happen. So this is where you need to be. Now you know what, Johnny, when you bought the jersey out, when you bought the jersey out, Johnny, that led me to want to ask Coach a question. All right, so I've been wanting to ask Coach this question for years. After Bobby went on to Atlantic as a 10th grader, and we started the one. Up to that time, the only position that I ever wanted to play was running back. But when Bobby left, you decided to be the quarterback. I never. What was your thinking with that decision?
You know, my quarterbacks were always the smartest kid on the team. They didn't make mistakes. They could tell the other players what to do if they didn't know that. And they were just smarter kids, not smarter. They knew how to play football, knew how to coach football. And they were my leaders. Right, Bobby?
That's right.
You know, there's a lot of throwing we could have done. We had the talent to throw. We didn't have the time to throw.
Right.
We couldn't teach throwing and running too. Just didn't have the time. But our quarterbacks were our leaders. And where'd you end up?
That's right.
Where'd you end up, Larry?
I guess, it worked out. Let's just say that.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Bobby.
I'll guarantee you this: there's a high level of frustration on my behalf, though. But you know what? It was an opportunity to play a different position and develop another skill set. And you said, look how it turned out. So. That was a good decision, Coach.
Hey,
you know,
Coach Smith.
Yeah.
Coach Smith, I would like to say, I will always ask you, you know that during the time early, John Wayne can contest that, because when we was going down to Margate and Pompano and Plantation, you know, they didn't like us down there. And I done seen you get in a lot, almost fights and arguments about us, and I appreciated that. I appreciate that. You stuck up for us, because you know they were throwing rocks and ballers and calling us all kind of names, but you know you kept your composure, and I always I appreciate that.
Well, you guys are family, and you know family's different.
That's right.
Families are what they are, and you don't beat them. You don't talk about them.
Right. That's true.
But y'all are family, and there's others out
there.
there.
Yeah, then we went straight, so that was good too.
But I'm just proud of all of you. Y'all played hellish football now. Don't ever think you didn't. You were as good as anybody around. You proved it for a long time.
Coach Smith,
you know how many teams we just look for teams to play.
Right.
There were a couple of years we'd play anybody we could find.
That's right.
Yeah.
But y'all were, you know, it was just something special. And there was never any problems with it.
I remember when we were playing with the 150s, I remember one game we went down and played somebody down. I don't forget where it was, but we got there on the bus, and the other team them cats was getting out. They were driving their cars and coming out. I'm saying, well, who we playing? They look like grown men.
That was sunrise. That was a sunrise.
Yeah.
They were
Sunrise, Western, you know, they were all tough. But,
Yeah, they were. These cats was driving to the game, getting out their cars. I'm saying, well, then you know, we busted them up and got on up out of there.
Hey,
Oh
they
man,
couldn't win the game.
Oh,
They couldn't
boy,
win
that
the
was-
fight. I guess they knew.
they knew what time of day it was gonna be. But man,
Yeah, like you said, we had good coaches.
Oh no, they knew that.
There were 2 coaches I had to let go in the whole 20 years I was there,
right,
and and the coaches, they were just special people too.
yes,
They never had a problem with them. A couple of them got on me every now and then because they thought they were getting slighted.
right.
So when push came to shove,
Mhm.
first time we went to Tennessee, I came back from a league meeting and the guy down there said, "We got an opening up in Gatlinburg. Nobody told us about it. Anybody down here want to go?" Well, we'd won all our divisions that year in '74.
Mhm.
And I said, "Well, let me think about it." And we started adding up how much it cost and everything. I don't know. And before they got through, I said, "We'll go, but you got to take all 4 teams." That was the year we had that big team.
Yeah.
You know, I said, "If you don't take them, we're not going."
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they said, "Well, we'll find you someone to play." Because I wouldn't have taken them if they hadn't taken all 4 of us. Because everybody won that year.
Yeah.
That's powerful. I missed that trip, man. Y'all left me on that one.
The one team lost though.
The what?
Yeah. The Crudup and them lost though. They lost. 105 lost. That's the only.
Yeah, that was when the
Yeah.
center.
Well, that was so.
jumped
I
on
want.
Benny just wasn't ready for that one.
It was so
But you know,
cold.
Benny was there for everything else.
It was so
yeah.
cold and raining out there. I really didn't want to play.
I could tell everybody coming. I gotta go pee. I gotta go. Couldn't get enough in the restrooms.
Oh my God. That's
But
crazy.
I tell you, we could have played their high school with that team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a year that we
Yeah,
tried
we
to
were
play
pretty good.
Cincinnati, and they wouldn't play us. You remember we were practicing over by the park there, and they were practicing on one side, and we were on the other. And we tried like the devil to get them to play us, but they didn't want anything to do with us. And we were young. We had a young team.
Yeah.
Wow.
But hey, ain't anything better than a good football team, good football players.
And a great program to go along with it. Right?
Absolutely.
And
Hey,
then-
Bob,
yes, sir.
hey, I want to ask Coach Smith, did he always fond of his nickname Applejack?
How do you get that nickname? I don't know how you
I don't have anything up there now. What do you mean? Nah, it's like the Rocks. You know, you don't find anybody else named the Rocks, and nobody else calls me Apple other than you guys. And that's an honor. That's not a knock.
That's right.
That's all.
I'm glad.
Well, it looked like we all.
I'm glad y'all mentioned Carlton Bone though. Carlton, I had to drag him out there to get. He coached me when I was in the 8th grade. We had 1 game a year, and he coached me there. And he was a good friend of mine to
Wow.
boot. But Carlton did a good job.
Mm.
Did an excellent job.
Well, that's
You know, Delray's better for you. Delray's better because of you. And I just wish them nothing but the best.
Well, I appreciate you, and we like to say thank you for what you did for us, and with this great program. It's still doing great today. For so many kids in Delray Beach. We just want to let you know how much we love you, Coach Smith, and how much we really appreciate all that you did for us, and we'll never forget you. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And your legacy will live on and on and on and on. And even those kids who are playing today won't know, how this thing all got started. Hope they can pull up videos like this, and some of us can come and share some history with them, how this thing got started way back in 1966.
With a lot of good people and good help.
A lot of good people and good help.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's what it takes.
That's what
Nobody does it alone, guys.
nobody does it alone. You got that
But
right.
nobody's ever going to be alone as long as there's a rock around.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's,
absolutely, absolutely.
that's right. So let's again, thank you guys for being on the show, Johnny, Charles, Blue, Coffey, and Coach Smith.
Hey, Larry, I'm looking forward to you now.
Huh?
Hey,
I told Larry I'm
guys,
looking
I
forward to
really
him.
appreciate this. This is something.
Yeah, well,
You're welcome. Appreciate it.
I wish Mo could have been here.
Oh, me too, man. We need to get Mo on the show soon. You know,
In New York.
I talk quite a bit.
We gotta get him on the show.
Together, our Heaven.
Mhm.
Heaven's the one that called up. Want to know why we ran so few plays in the second half. But you know,
Well, you have about 10 running backs, so any one of them can take it the distance at any time. You know.
Oh, man.
we had more
Think about
talent
Del
than
Rey.
all I-
You always have somebody who can get that ball and take it the distance.
Charlie, you
for
could do it with the best of them.
Yeah, we were never ready for that play.
Larry, you could play anywhere.
Oh yeah,
Johnny, you're the best, baby.
yes,
You
sir.
know
Thank you.
that.
Yes, sir.
You know that. Never had to worry about him making the weight. Never. He's always there. Bobby,
Yes, sir.
you're something else.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
What you're doing up in Atlanta is just something miraculous.
Well,
It
thank you.
really takes something to do that.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Well, you're noticed by a lot of people,
Thank you.
and that's great. Well, guys, you're going to get me in tears here in a minute. You don't want to see that.
Well, we love you, Coach, and appreciate you, man. And if you like the video again, 100 yards of football, share it, comment, and direct other folks to see this great man, this legend, Coach Bill Smith, founder and creator of the Del Rey Rocks. God bless
Thank you again.
God bless you.
And do me one favor, will you?
Yes,
Anybody you see that's a rock, tell them we're thinking of them.
I will.
Always will be.
I will.
All right, Coach.
guys.
All right, Coach.
God
God bless you.
bless, okay?
All right.
All right.
All right,
Good
be
night.
blessed.
have a good evening. God bless you.